So what if I told you that two of the most powerful digital forces completely reshaping our world, I'm talking artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency, actually both spring from a single ancient idea? And that idea is the token.
The word itself is super old. It comes from Old English, and it meant a sign or a symbol. Back in the day, a token was a real physical thing, like a special coin or a king's seal that stood for something much bigger, something you couldn't touch, like authority or status. It was basically physical proof of an invisible reality.
But fast forward to today, and that simple idea has been put on steroids. It's been completely supercharged. And it's split into two incredibly powerful forms that are, right now, becoming the fundamental building blocks of a whole new kind of economic empire.
And that really brings us to the big question we're going to dig into today. How are these two digital tokens working together to build the very foundation for a new kind of global power?
Okay, let's dive in. We're going to start by breaking down the first pillar of this new empire. This one is all about production, the AI token.
So what is an AI token, really? Well, think of it like this. If an AI is writing an email, the tokens are the individual words and maybe even the punctuation it uses. If it's making an image, tokens are just tiny little patches of color. They are literally the Lego bricks of artificial intelligence.
And this is exactly why they're so important. AI tokens have basically become the currency of intelligence itself. Every single AI service out there, its cost, its power, its limits, it's all measured in these tokens. That makes them the fundamental unit of production in this new knowledge economy we're building.
And the process is actually pretty slick. First, the AI breaks down all kinds of complex information, text, images, whatever, into these simple little tokens. Then it learns the relationships and patterns between millions of them. And finally, it uses all that knowledge to generate something completely new. Whether that's a perfect email, a stunning piece of art, or a complex line of code.
All right, so now that we get the token of production, let's look at the other side of this coin, the token of value, the crypto token.
Now, it is absolutely crucial to understand the difference here. A coin, like Bitcoin, is its own thing. It runs on its own dedicated blockchain. But a token is different. It's built on top of an existing blockchain, something like Ethereum. And that flexibility lets it be way more versatile and programmable, which, as you'll see, is the key to its power.
The best way to think of a crypto token is like a digital key. It's a key that can unlock ownership to pretty much any asset you can possibly imagine, from a share in a startup to the deed for a house or even a one-of-a-kind piece of digital art. And the process for creating one is just fascinating. You can essentially take a real-world asset like an office building and create digital shares of it. These shares, which are represented by tokens, can then be bought and sold instantly on a global market. It makes investing in things that used to be totally inaccessible, well, way more accessible.
Okay, so we've got a token for creating knowledge and a token for owning value. On their own, they're pretty powerful, no doubt. But when you put them together, well, that's when you get something truly revolutionary, a whole new model for global power.
For the past 50 years or so, American influence has been built on a really simple but powerful idea: pricing oil in US dollars. This basically forced every country to need dollars, creating this constant global demand for the currency. It gave the US a massive advantage, what's been called an exorbitant privilege, in the global financial system.
You've probably heard the saying, data is the new oil. And you know what? In this new economy, that's truer than ever. The entire world is pivoting away from tangible things like factories and oil barrels and moving towards intangible capital, things like data, software, and intellectual property.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The old model of power, the old playbook was built on controlling a physical commodity, oil. The new model, well, it's being built on controlling the world's most valuable intangible assets, data and intelligence. And it's doing it through these two digital tokens.
And this is the token empire. It's a new kind of power that doesn't rely on controlling shipping lanes or having military bases everywhere. No, instead, it controls the digital highways of our time, the infrastructure for how we create knowledge with AI and how we assign value with crypto.
So how do these two pillars actually work together to create this new global pipeline? Let's zoom out and look at the big picture.
Okay, imagine this. An AI designs a revolutionary new solar panel, a total game changer. Almost instantly, a crypto token can be created to represent ownership of that brilliant new design. And that token can then be sold to investors all over the world, funding the production of the new panel. It's a completely seamless pipeline, from idea to investment, in minutes.
And listen, this isn't just a theory. You can see it playing out in US government policy right now. On one side, you have these big pushes like the AI Action Plan, which is all about accelerating American leadership in AI. And on the other side, you have proposed laws like the Genius Act, which is designed to create a federal framework for stablecoins, basically tying the digital asset world directly to the stability of US Treasury bills. It's a clear two-pronged strategy to dominate the future of the digital economy.
The stakes here, they really couldn't be higher. In the 20th century, the nations that controlled oil and industry got to write the rules of the global economy. Well, in the 21st century, the nations that master the infrastructure for AI and crypto will have the power to do the exact same thing.
So as our world completes this massive, historic shift from physical atoms to digital bits, the question isn't just about technology, it's about power. And the real question we're left with is who's going to be writing the rules for whatever comes next?